today we're going to just take a few minutes to honor some things that we talk about in Black history that we hear and some things we don't hear. Instead of like we normally do, and when we have Black histories, we list a lot of the Black inventors and the things that they've invented, things that we don't know about necessarily. And it's interesting to hear. I heard somebody reading off a list the other day of all of the different things that we use every day that we don't even know people of color invented them.
Amen.
Things like the GPS
Yes.
for your cars. That was invented by a Black man. Actually a Black woman.
Wow.
And there's so many other things that was listed that I had no idea. I mean, you just don't stop and think about it.
That's right.
But because we assume the way things have been set up in this country to make us believe that most of the things, especially things that are important technology things, that they were invented by somebody else. But a lot of them were invented by people of color. And so even though we do need to know that information, I'm not going to talk about that in particular. But what I will talk about is why Black history is important for us to emphasize that. Why do we even have to set aside a month to talk about Black history? Black history is important to emphasize because it tells the full truth of American history, the full truth. And it shapes how we understand justice, identity, and progress today. Now, you'll hear people that, don't agree with that. They don't feel like Black history and American history are one and the same. But it is, because we are part of the history of this country. And a lot of the things that are done today are done because we're here.
Right.
Like we have made such an impact, but we aren't given the credit all the time for the things that we have contributed to this country. So it is necessary for us to have Black History Month so that not only other people recognize our value, but so that we recognize our value.
Amen.
We have been made to devalue ourselves because of the things that we've been oppressed with, because of the kind of ignorance that's been spread about us as people. So we have actually allowed them to devalue us. So this is to change our mindset about how we see ourselves. When Black history is understood, American history becomes more honest, complete, and meaningful, not whitewashed with omissions or just flat out lies. A lot of times what was being done is they whitewash it, trying to rewrite history, trying to make it where it makes one group look better than the other group, or one group is more advanced, one group is better, one group has more intelligence. That's a lie. The Bible tells us that we were all created in the image of God. He never intended for one to be elevated over the other. That's why you see such a variety of colors of skin and language and all that. That's God's doing. He didn't intend for any one group of people to reign over the other.
Right.
So here are some key reasons why it matters for us to know Black history. Black history is American history. The United States was built economically, culturally, and politically with the labor, intellect, creativity, and leadership of Black people.
Yes.
Okay? Ignoring Black history leaves the national story incomplete and distorted. So when you don't include people of color, Black people in particular, in the history of this country, you're leaving out a chunk of what this country really all about, good and bad.
Amen.
It honors resilience, not just suffering. Black history is often reduced to slavery and segregation. Emphasizing it properly highlights innovation, leadership, faith, and entrepreneurship, artistic and scientific excellence. It shifts the narrative from only oppression to achievement and endurance. So think about this. I always say this. I can never remember a time when I ever woke up one day and said, I wish I was white. I have always loved who I am.
Yes.
Always. Because I think the difference that God has made in the color of my skin, the way I move, the way I'm built, all of that matters. And you see so many of our attributes trying to be copied.
Yes.
And vice versa. We try to copy some attributes from other people. But the point is, I've never wished I was somebody else because I think they're better.
Right.
I always have wanted the same equal playing field.
Right.
If equality was there, there would be no reason for one to want the other one or the other one to want that one.
Yes.
We would all be able to access everything we need equally. That's the only thing I've ever longed for. But I love being who I am. I love the color of my skin. I love my curves, my hips, my nose, I love it. There's nothing about my physical that I want to change and trade with somebody else for. Now, there's some things I would like to course correct, but that doesn't mean I want it to look like somebody else's.
Yes.
So when we think about the other things that is important about this, it corrects historical erasure and misinformation. There's a lot of misinformation about people of color. And I always say this about anything. Think about it. Anytime someone is trying so hard to make you look bad, it always turns out to be because they have a fear of you. It's a fear, it's a jealousy, it's something that they're trying to diminish your value so it can raise theirs. But you know what? When you're confident in who you are, you don't have to do that. Like, I don't have to try to put your light out to make mine shine. I shine on my own. And if you get out of my way, I can show you how I can shine. But when people they don't feel comfortable, when they are not confident who they are, they have to try to diminish somebody else in order for them to seem like they rise to the top. But we got to change our minds so that we don't fall for that. You got to be in a position where you can see that happening and understand that's what it is. Don't allow oppression to cause you to become depressed. When people try to oppress you, that's them trying, but you don't have to allow it to cause you to become depressed.
That's good. That's good.
So for generations, Black contributions were excluded from textbooks and public memory. Emphasizing Black history restores truth and challenges false narratives that minimize Black impact or agency. Now, we all know everywhere you go, you can't go anywhere, in any store, any restaurant, and not hear hip hop music. That has become a phenomenon in this country. I don't care what color your skin is. If you want to make money, if you want a good marketing technique, hip hop music, rap music. Where did that come from? I wonder. Many people of European descent try extra hard to erase our history, accomplishments, and prevent our progression. But still we rise. Like Maya Angelou said, still I rise. So you think about all of the things that have gone into making this effort to try to keep us down. You think about all of that, and we still, in the midst of all of that, we still rise. We still have the ability to go out and become entrepreneurs, go out and build homes, raise families, go to college, get PhD. We still have the ability. That's a people that are resilient, people that don't give up. Now, that's not to say all of us are there. That's why we have Black history, because this is to help encourage us to realize God did not play favorites when he created us. When he created everybody, he had people in mind. He had his image in mind. That doesn't mean that all of us are God's children, but it does mean we're all his creation. And we were all given an equal playing field from the beginning. It's the evil, the sin of mankind that started to put one down and elevate the other.
There we go.
And all for the purpose of trying to have power, control, it's greed. And of course, profits. Understanding Black history helps explain economic disparities such as the systems and laws designed to keep us from becoming financially independent. Voting rights struggles, the way they have done everything to make it hard for us to vote, which is what bothers me so when I hear people say, especially people of color, oh, my vote doesn't matter. They're going to do what they want anyway. Man, the government, they don't care about voting. All of us are racket anyway. Okay, so, but there were people that gave their lives, fought hard to get us the right to vote. Anything someone fights hard to keep you from doing, you best believe they see an advantage for them. So you don't vote because you don't vote, or you don't vote because you don't think it matters. You should vote so much because they don't want you to vote. That's the reason. If you don't have no other reason, do it because you know they don't want you to vote. And that they are the people that run the systems in this country. So we want to make sure that we take a different approach, even to our right to vote. That's important. And make sure that you study enough. And that's part of what we're going to do here, is teach Sunday civics. Because we need to know why voting is important, not just on the national level, but at state and local level as well. And we unfortunately have taken the approach that it doesn't matter. And it does matter. It matters a lot. So we want to make sure that we change our perspective on that. Education and health inequities. We know this to be true. For so long, we were not given the same opportunities for education. And you can see the outcome of that even still today, because we are coming from behind. We're still trying to catch up. We're still trying to push the idea of educating our own people. Our HBCUs still have such relevance in this time, but they struggle because of not having the resources, the same equal resources that other schools have. But that doesn't mean that we stop. That doesn't mean we give up. We still have to continue to fight. History gives context. It shows how systems were built and why reform is still needed. And we have not arrived. There's still things that need to change. And here's what we do have to understand. Until Jesus comes back and sets it all right again, we're going to have struggles. Yes. We're going to have people that are still trying to oppress and depress a certain group of people to make themselves look good. We're still going to have people that are disloyal, that lie all the time, that make up stuff, try to play games with your mind. We're going to always have that because we don't have all righteous people in charge of the world. So we have to understand, you're not going to change everything in this world. That's not what we're here for. But we are here to make a difference and make change where we can and be the change. Yes. Be the change. And then you can affect change everywhere else you go. Yeah. So what we're going to do this morning, because I'm talking about the progress that we've made, I have a list of companies that have that are Black-owned businesses, and I want to give them to you because one of the things that I'm concerned about is how our dollar in this Black community leaves the community so quickly, because we don't circulate our money like other groups of people do. Other cultures, they support their businesses in their community. We've got to do a better job of doing that. And I know it's been a struggle to try to find some things that, you know, you may want to purchase from Black-owned businesses. But I have put together a list of websites and different organizations that provide websites where you can go and look and actually purchase things from Black-owned businesses. That's important. And I know we've got to step up how we do things as Black-owned entrepreneurs. Yes. You know, we don't always do things above board. We got to do better. If you want to attract business, you can't just expect, because my color, my skin look like yours, that I'm gonna give you my money when you're not giving me a good service. So we have to do better than just, I'm Black, you Black. We've got to actually have a business that's viable, that people will want to come and support and purchase the things that you have and the services. We've got to compete the way you want to win, like you want to win. That's how we have to compete. So that's good. We've all heard of Black Wall Street. I'm sure you've all heard of that. Yes. But there are many other communities that are thriving, Black communities similar to Tulsa's. And I'm just going to name a few of them. Very interesting. Of course, Black Wall Street in Tulsa, Oklahoma, was the Greenwood district known as the original Black Wall Street. They had banks, hotels, newspapers, doctors, and theaters. It was destroyed in 1921 through the Tulsa Race Massacre. So in case you hadn't heard about that, it was actually a government, it was actually the government that infiltrated that area and destroyed those businesses. Killed a lot of people over a lie, something that was brewed in order to give them the right to go in and make this decision to destroy these people. So that was in Tulsa, Oklahoma. In Durham, North Carolina, there's the Haiti district. It's the capital of the Black middle class, home of North Carolina Mutual Life Insurance Company, and a strong Black professional class. Have you ever heard of that? I hadn't. Right here in North Carolina. Atlanta, Georgia, Sweet Auburn Avenue. It's called the richest Negro street in the world. Center of Black banks, businesses, and churches. The birthplace of Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Sweet Auburn combined faith, economics, and civil rights leadership, showing how economic power supported social change. So whenever you are in a position where you've got some influence, it's because you've got money, you've got businesses, you're independent financially. That's when you have influence. If you have nothing, you have no voice. And that's why it's so important for us to start supporting Black-owned businesses, because it gives all of us a rise. It lifts us all up when we start supporting one another. In Chicago, Illinois, Bronzeville is known as the Black metropolis, flourished during the Great Migration. It's a hub for Black media, arts, and commerce. Memphis, Tennessee, Beale Street. Black-owned clubs, businesses, and professionals. It's the center of blues, music, and culture. Beale Street highlights how culture and commerce often grew together in Black communities. All of this is information on communities of color that are thriving, that were thriving and are thriving. And these are places we don't hear about, because talking about Black history is not just about talking about all the ugly stuff that was done. Let's talk about the things that we've done since then. Yeah. Let's move forward. Yeah. No, we're not going to forget the oppression, but we're going to also move forward with the progression. Yes. The things that we're doing now too. Okay, and that's let's see, I'll mention just one or two more. Thank you. Los Angeles, California, Central Avenue. West Coast Black business and entertainment hub. Black-owned hotels, clubs, and services. Central Avenue shows how Black Wall Street communities extended beyond the South into the West. Common themes: education, faith, and entrepreneurship. Community reinvestment, often targeted by violence or urban renewal. So, you know, a lot of times when we start building and things start to become successful in our communities, we always draw the ire of people that don't want to see us be successful. It's unfortunate, but it's like they do not want us to get but so far. And then once we start going beyond that, now there's a plot or even plans to start trying to bring you down. So you have to stay aware of who you're dealing with and what things you need to do to prepare yourself and put yourself in a better position. And these businesses are still thriving. These communities are still thriving. So this is what I wanted to give you, just so you have this information. My husband and I, as well as our family, our son and daughter-in-law, we have made it a point to support Black businesses. We order things like our toilet paper, vitamins, you name it, things that we use on a regular basis. If there's a Black business that you can support and get those items, sometimes I know we've gotten used to the convenience of Amazon and all that, but you know, if you can order something from Amazon and you know it's a Black-owned business, we have Black authors here in our own ministry. We want to support that because everything we do to support one another helps to bring all of us up to another level. Amen. So we just thank God for how we have this opportunity to share with you some of the things that we need to take another look at when it comes to Black history. Know why this is important. It's important for us to emphasize it because we want to make sure we don't forget that through all of the things that we endure as people of color, we still continue to rise. Amen. 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 Thank you.